Welcome to the Depth Dive. Today, we're really getting into J.R. Tolkien's The Two Towers, the second volume, of The Lord of the Rings.
Hmm.
And this book, it isn't just like the next chapter. It feels like this huge structural piece in the middle. Handles so much peak action, definitely, but also deep moral questions and maybe that first real glimpse of hope on a bigger scale.
It really is the essential bridge, yeah.
Yeah.
You go from this scattered group
Right.
to full-on war.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you're diving deep into maybe the most personal, desperate journey in the whole thing with Frodo and Sam.
Exactly. It feels like the moment where Middle-earth either pulls together or just falls apart.
Totally.
So our mission today is to kind of quickly pull out the most important bits. Why did Tolkien split the story like this? What do these parallel plots tell us about things like loyalty, power?
And the key psychological moments,
Yeah.
right, for the character.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Sounds good.
Mm.
And, we've looked at analysis from literary scholars, summaries, the usual sources. And for anyone listening who wants to maybe dive deeper into the full book or other interests
Mm-hmm.
in audio format, well, just remember there are services out there, like Audible, for instance, that make it easy to listen to full audiobooks, podcasts, all that stuff. Sometimes you can even start with like a free month offer.
Yeah,
Worth checking out if you enjoy listening.
good point. Okay, so let's get right into it. The Fellowship is broken. That's where we start, right? Tragedy and, well, choices.
Yeah, it kicks off at the end of Boromir.
Yeah.
Tragic. Struck down defending Merry and Pippin from orcs.
That's a powerful scene.
It is. And his death, it serves a purpose beyond just sadness.
Mhm.
After that lapse he had, that terrible moment with the ring in the first book.
Right, trying to take it from Frodo.
Exactly. His final sacrifice, it feels intensely redemptive.
Mm.
It kind of shows that even someone touched by the ring's temptation can find that honor in doing their duty at the end. It really emphasizes the cost.
That sacrifice, that redemption, it really does set the stage for the others, doesn't it? Frodo and Sam, they press on alone towards Mordor. But what about Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli? What was their choice?
Well, they make this absolutely pivotal decision. It's loyalty over maybe what you'd call destiny.
Oh, so?
Aragorn, he carries the line of kings, right? You could argue his place is in the bigger political fight, rallying Gondor or something.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, he chooses to rescue two small hobbits. That decision kicks off this incredible, relentless chase across Rohan.
That pursuit sequence is amazing.
It is, and it proves, I think, that the war's foundation is going to be built on these personal bonds, not just some ancient prophecy telling everyone what to do.
That makes sense. Okay, so while that chase is happening, the narrative switches. We focus on Merry and Pippin, captured. And this is where we get a fascinating look inside the enemy's camp. Their politics, almost.
Yeah, what's really interesting there is that even evil isn't like unified. The orcs holding the hobbits, they belong to different bosses. Saruman's Uruk-hai versus Sauron's orcs from Mordor.
Right, and they're constantly fighting.
Constantly bickering who owns the prisoners, arguing over orders. It shows the weakness inherent in evil,
Yeah.
It's built on ambition and fear, not real loyalty, so it just can't hold together internally.
And that infighting, plus, let's be honest, the Hobbits' own smarts,
Yeah, that's one of their cunning.
leads to their escape. Right into Fangorn Forest, and that's where they meet. Treebeard, the Ent.
Ah, Treebeard.
This moment feels like it just widens the whole scope of the conflict, doesn't it?
Precisely. Treebeard and the Ents, they're these ancient guardians. They represent nature, deep time,
Yeah.
slow time. They're naturally slow to act, slow to anger,
Very slow.
very slow. But Merry and Pippin, they kind of represent this rapid, necessary change.
Mm-hmm.
They essentially wake the Ents up by showing them the destruction Saruman's industry, his orcs, his forge is causing to the forest.
Tolkien connecting environmental damage directly to the war.
Exactly. Chopping down the trees for fuel, the Ents waking up. Yeah. That signals this isn't just a war of men and elves and dwarves anymore. It's like a fundamental fight between nature and this destructive industrialized power.
Okay, meanwhile, back with Aragorn's group on the plains, they're getting kind of discouraged, right?
Yeah. They run into the riders of Rohan. Aemir leads them. Fierce warriors.
Mm-hmm.
But Aemir basically tells them, look, your friends were killed by orcs. We destroyed those orcs. Your chase is pointless. Doubt starts creeping in.
And just then, they meet someone, a cloaked old man.
Right. And here's where it gets really interesting. This raises that question, what happens when hope seems completely gone?
Yeah.
And Tolkien's answer is, Gandalf returns. But he's not just back from the dead.
Yeah.
He's Gandalf the White. Utterly transformed, more powerful, wiser, stripped of his old identity almost, and given this new mission to rally the free peoples. It feels like the theological anchor of the story, maybe. That good prevails. It comes back stronger after sacrifice.
Okay, so Gandalf's back, and he's more powerful. The focus immediately shifts then to Rohan, the political situation there, Saruman's treachery.
Yeah, we learned Saruman has been manipulating King Theoden through Grima Wormtongue.
Wormtongue, what a name.
Right, he's essentially poisoned the king's mind, leaving him weak, despondent, unable to act.
Yeah.
Old before his time.
And Gandalf confronts this head on.
He does. And it's symbolic, I think. He isn't just, like, waving a wand and fixing Theoden with magic. He's restoring the king's will.
Okay.
By casting out Wormtongue, driving him away, he returns agency, the power to choose and act, back to the rightful king. He really highlights how political corruption often works by, whispering despair, undermining belief in yourself.
And once Theoden believes again,
He acts. He mobilizes his people for defense.
which leads us straight into one of the most iconic moments, the Battle of Helm's Deep. Theoden gathers his people in this ancient fortress,
Right, this deep mountain refuge,
facing this overwhelming army of Saruman's Uruk-hai. 10,000 strong, wasn't it?
at least. And Helm's Deep is crucial, because it's not really won by magic rings or chosen ones alone. It's won by the sheer courage of ordinary people. The Rohirrim.
And the Alliance, too, right? Gimli's there, Legolas.
Exactly. Men, elves, dwarves fighting side by side. It's about desperate resilience against impossible odds. It's the payoff for that whole pursuit storyline.
And the climax.
Gandalf. He arrives at dawn with reinforcements, Aemyr's riders, turning the tide. Strategic genius, perfect timing, secures the victory.
So a massive military victory for Rohan, but Saruman's defeat is also happening somewhere else at pretty much the same time, isn't it? Linking back to Merry and Pippin.
Absolutely. While the battle raged at Helm's Deep, the Ents woken up by the hobbits. Remember, they descended on Isengard, Saruman's fortress.
Right.
And they don't fight like soldiers. They fight like an earthquake or a flood.
Right.
A force of nature.
Tearing down the walls.
Tearing down the stone walls, smashing the fortifications. And most symbolically, they break the dams Saruman built, flooding the entire circle of Isengard, drowning his forges, his machinery, the industrial heart of his power.
Wow.
It's this definitive statement, I think, that this kind of destructive industrial ambition, it'll ultimately be overwhelmed by the patient, powerful force of nature. Saruman's left defeated, trapped in his tower, Orthanc, stripped of his army, his overt power.
Okay, so that's one major storyline resolved, at least for now. Saruman contained, Rohan saved. But that's only half the picture, isn't it? We need to switch focus back to Frodo and Sam, their journey.
Yeah, and their path is quiet, terrifying.
Yes.
It's the real test of moral strength, I think.
It feels like the complete opposite of the other plotline.
Totally. It's almost an anti-quest narrative in a way. While Aragorn and the others are gaining allies, winning battles, Frodo and Sam are just losing physical strength. They're getting worn down, exhausted. And the only thing they're gaining is the crushing psychological weight of the ring.
And they're not alone for long. They pick up a follower.
Gollum. Twisted by the ring for centuries. He's both pitiful and incredibly dangerous.
And Frodo. He makes a controversial choice here, doesn't he? He shows Gollum mercy, takes him on as a guide.
He does. Despite Sam's instant, deep suspicion, Sam wants Gollum gone, maybe even dead.
So is Frodo's mercy strength? Or is it maybe a fatal flaw? Maybe influenced by his own growing connection to the ring?
That's the huge moral question, isn't it? It's the hinge the whole quest swings on. Frodo, I think, understands Gollum, or at least pities him.
Yeah.
Because he sees his own potential future in this creature.
A warning.
A terrifying warning of what the ring could do to him. So the mercy isn't just, simple kindness. It's born from this deep, tragic recognition of a shared fate, a shared burden. Tolkien really emphasizes that the success of the entire mission might depend on this single act of compassion.
While Sam.
Sam represents that straightforward, uncorrupted loyalty. He just sees the immediate danger. Gollum is treacherous.
Right. Frodo carries the complex moral weight. Sam carries the practical loyalty.
Exactly. And that dynamic gets tested almost immediately when they run into Faramir.
Boromir's brother.
Boromir's brother, captain of the Gondor's Rangers in Ithilien.
In this encounter, it really puts Frodo's burden and the nature of the ring right back in the spotlight.
Yeah, because this is where we get that vital contrast. Faramir, unlike Boromir.
Who tried to take the ring?
Exactly. Faramir resists the temptation completely. Boromir was strong, proud, maybe, and he fell because he desired the ring's power for Gondor, for glory. Faramir is shown as wise. He understands the nature of the ring's power, that it can't be used for good.
He sees the trap.
He sees the trap. He proves that the strength to deny power, to resist ambition, is often greater and certainly morally superior than the strength needed to wield a weapon or command armies. He chooses restraint, wisdom, and he helps the hobbits, lets them go.
A crucial act of trust. But after Faramir's help, Gollum, his inner conflict tips over, doesn't it?
It does. That divided loyalty, the Smeagol part wanting to help Frodo, the Gollum part craving the ring, it finally resolves. The darker side wins out.
Betrayal.
Complete betrayal. He leads Frodo and Sam towards Mordor, but via a supposedly secret path, which is actually the lair of Shelob.
The giant spider, just pure nightmare fuel.
Absolutely. Gollum is the Judas figure here, leading them into this trap. And Shelob isn't like Saruman with plans and armies. She's just ancient, primal horror, unthinking malice.
And the trap works.
It does. She poisons Frodo. He collapses, seemingly dead, paralyzed.
Which brings us to maybe Sam's defining moment in the entire saga.
Oh, absolutely. This is the crucible for Samwise Gamgee. Right. He believes Frodo is dead. His master, his friend.
Utter despair.
Total despair. But what does he do? He takes up the ring.
But not for himself.
No, not with ambition, not like Boromir. He takes it purely out of duty, out of loyalty. He's prepared to carry this immense burden, the ring, the hope of Middle-earth, all alone, just to finish the quest.
His loyalty is just unwavering.
It's pure, steadfast, untouched by the kind of complex moral struggles Frodo faces because of his direct burden. Sam is the ultimate example, maybe, of that ordinary person's heroism. Simple loyalty, overcoming the absolute darkest moment. He takes the ring only to see the mission through.
And just when you think that's the end of the book, maybe Sam carrying on alone, Tolkien hits us with the cliffhanger.
Oh, the ultimate cliffhanger. Orcs from the Tower of Cirith Ungol find Frodo's body. And as they carry him off, they reveal the twist. He's not dead, just paralyzed by Shelob's venom.
And Sam overhears this.
Sam's hidden nearby. He hears them. He realizes Frodo is alive, but captured by the enemy inside Mordor's borders. He has to rescue him, setting the stage perfectly for the final volume.
Wow. Okay. So if we kind of pull all these threads together, the Two Towers really masterfully braids these two kinds of conflict, doesn't it?
It really does. You've got the big external battles, Helm's Deep, the fight for Rohan's soul, the Ents dealing with Isengard's industry.
Yeah.
That's all about loyalty, courage, the cost of power.
Right.
And then you have the deeply internal struggle. Frodo wrestling with the ring's influence, Gollum's fractured psyche, Faramir's crucial choice of wisdom over strength.
Every plot point seems to feed back into those core themes. Loyalty, the corrupting nature of power, hope against overwhelming darkness.
Exactly. It reinforces that idea that real victory isn't just about winning battles. It depends just as much on internal moral choices, on resisting temptation, on loyalty.
So what does this all mean for us, maybe? What's the takeaway?
It feels like a powerful statement that sometimes the greatest strength is in resisting power, not grabbing it. And that the simple, unwavering loyalty of a friend, well, it can quite literally save the world. It deepens all characters so much, it leaves the tension just absolutely cranked to the maximum.
Couldn't agree more. And maybe we can leave you with this final thought to mull over. Saruman is defeated, right? Trapped in his tower by the end of the fighting at Isengard.
Yeah, contained.
Contained. But the source material makes it clear his influence doesn't just vanish, it lingers. Like a shadow. It affects events later on. Interesting.
So consider this. How often, maybe in our own lives or in bigger conflicts, even when the main enemy seems broken or contained, how often do their lingering effects, the seeds of despair they planted or the toxic ideas they spread, remain dangerous long after the main battle seems won?
What ongoing, unseen shadows do you need to watch out for even after you think you've achieved victory?
Exactly. Something to think about.
A perfect question to end on. That wraps up our deep dive into the Two Towers. Thanks for exploring these really essential insights with us. Go forth and face your shadows.